Alright guys, we've got some big Forsaken news to cover today. From scrapped Dignity Noli content to the Battlefield map, dev Q&As, and even drama surrounding a brand new noob skin. You don't want to miss this. Let's get into it. Firstly, we've gotten a really interesting look at a lot of the scrapped content for the Dignity Noli skin. If you don't know, all of the earlier work that was being done on this skin has officially been scrapped, and the entire thing is now being reworked from the ground up. The reason behind this is that several of the people originally working on the skin were either removed from the project or left the team, so the devs decided it would be better to start fresh. But before that reset, we actually got to see some of the old content that had been made for Dignity Noli, and honestly, it's pretty impressive. The scrapped content included multiple custom animations, like an idle animation, a walking animation, and even a void rush animation. All of these looked really good and made the skin feel much more unique. Apparently there was also a custom piano LMS tied to the skin, but unfortunately, that's now been lost. We also got to see the scrapped intro animation, which even included Dignity Noli's voice lines. The presentation was really polished, and while it won't be making it into the final version of the skin, it shows just how much work had gone into the original concept. Probably the standout piece of content though was the chase theme. Sadly, I can't play it here. Let me just say though, it is unlike anything else in Forsaken right now. It's unique, fresh, and has a completely different vibe from the usual chase themes we're used to. And I mean that in the best way possible. It's the kind of track that instantly sticks with you, and I honestly hope the new reworked version of Dignity Noli ends up with something similar. Next up, we actually got to see a past scrapped map that was once in development for Forsaken, known as the Battlefield. This map was meant to be a collaboration with the Void Cult, and from the previews, it honestly looked like it had a ton of potential. The central feature of the map was a massive mansion right in the middle, which players could actually climb up to and even explore the second story. Surrounding it were lots of walls, smaller houses, and areas to loop around. You could even spot Guest 666 just chilling, and there was also a crucified Guest 666 looming in the sky. One of the big concerns though was its size. Many players pointed out that the battlefield looked way too large to function properly as a balanced map, even appearing bigger than Yorick's resting place, which is already one of the largest maps in the game. However, it's important to note that this version of the battlefield was still unfinished. The map had never gone through the balancing stage, so it's very likely that once the devs polished it up, it would have been scaled down to something closer in size to Yorick's resting place. Unfortunately, despite how cool it looked, the map was ultimately scrapped. The main reason was that it just didn't fit with the devs' current roadmap at the time. With so many other maps already being worked on or planned, the team decided it was better to cut the battlefield short and redirect the developers' focus elsewhere. Personally, I think the map could have been really fun to play on, especially after balancing, since it had such a unique theme and atmosphere. But what do you guys think? Would you have liked to see the battlefield make it into Forsaken, or do you think scrapping it was the right call? Next up, we've got some pretty surprising news about a brand new noob skin coming to Forsaken, and it's based on the YouTuber WillyandGaming. This all started with a fan post on Twitter joking about how funny it would be if Willy was added as a noob skin. The idea quickly went viral, with people even throwing out suggestions for what sound effects could go along with it. At first, a lot of players thought there was no way this could happen, since Forsaken has a general rule against using real people as skins, but others were quick to point out that content creators like Germa and Delirious already have skins in the game, so the possibility was definitely still there. That's when the discussion turned into something bigger. A lot of people began calling out the Forsaken team for not adding any characters of color into the game. Some players assumed that Willy wouldn't be added simply because of his skin tone, pointing to a past situation with PaperPal, where the character was reportedly rejected in its original darker design and only accepted once it was changed to the standard yellow Robloxian color. This led to plenty of heated debates online, with some people joking that instead of adding Willy, the devs would just add 500 more Vocaloid skins to avoid the issue. Others flat out accused parts of the community of being racist, saying there was no reason why Willy shouldn't be included. But despite all the drama, it turns out this skin really is happening. Alyssa responded to the viral post, not only saying maybe, but also showing off an actual in-game model of the WillyandGaming Noob skin. And unlike some feared, this skin won't be locked behind VIP or private servers. It'll be available for everyone to buy directly in the shop. On top of that, since the idea originally came from a fan named Owen, there's even a chance they might receive the contributor role for helping bring it to life. With this confirmation, the Forsaken team has effectively shut down the claims that Willy wouldn't be added because of recognizability or skin tone, and it's nice to see something the community wanted actually have a chance to get added by the developers. Next up, quite a few of the Forsaken developers have been doing Q&As on Twitter recently, and one of the most active has been Kacklebox. These responses have actually given us a lot of new insight into upcoming killers, design decisions, and even the direction Forsaken is taking with music and animations. Firstly, Kacklebox responded to a question about Charlatan, an upcoming killer who's tied to epic minigames. For those who don't know, Charlatan has been teased for a while but hasn't had much information shared about her. Kacklebox explained that Charlatan's release is still a little ways off, but not by too much, which means she's definitely on the near horizon. They also mentioned they weren't sure if Charlatan would be launching alongside another killer, leaving some room for speculation on whether she'll be part of a larger update. Another interesting topic was the use of user-submitted tracks. While Kacklebox isn't a music lead, so that answer should be taken with a grain of salt, they did say Forsaken is starting to move away from using user-submitted tracks and focusing more on producing original soundtracks. That doesn't mean user-submitted tracks are gone forever, they might still pop up occasionally, but they won't be nearly as common moving forward. When asked about Zombie King, another upcoming killer, Kacklebox revealed that the design will most likely be redone before it's released. The reason is that Zombie King feels too bland compared to the more polished and detailed designs Forsaken has now. Meanwhile, for Stalker, not much information could be shared just yet, leaving his future a bit of a mystery. We also got another look at Doombringer's model when Kacklebox was asked about its size. The render showed Doombringer towering over a normal Robloxian, looking much larger than expected. However, Kacklebox clarified that the final model will likely be scaled down so it's only slightly bigger than average. They also mentioned that progress on Doombringer's moveset is going well, with animations steadily being completed. Interestingly, they hinted that there's a big feature tied to Doombringer that they aren't ready to reveal just yet, saving it for when his role as the next killer is fully confirmed. Finally, Kacklebox commented on Guest 666's moveset, saying it's going to be the most engaging one so far for both the killer and the survivors. That's a bold statement, and it suggests Guest 666 is going to bring something entirely new to the gameplay. That's all the key info I found most interesting from Kacklebox's Q&A, but there was a lot more covered. If you're curious, I definitely recommend checking out the full thread for even more details. And lastly, we've got some news about the Die of Death civilian skins in Forsaken. Right now, when you use these skins, their appearance always defaults to the same skin tone every round. But according to CEO of Isaac, that might finally be changing. They explained that the dev team has actually wanted to update these skins so that their skin tone would randomize each round, giving players more variety and making the characters feel more authentic to the civilian theme. This isn't just a small tweak either. It would make the skins feel much more dynamic and alive, since you wouldn't be stuck seeing the exact same version every time you played. A system like this could also make the civilian skin stand out from other skins in Forsaken, since it adds an element of uniqueness. However, CEO of Isaac also mentioned that Sourcefy asked the team to hold off on implementing this change for now. There wasn't much detail given as to why, but it seems like it might just be a matter of timing and priorities, with other bigger features taking precedence. Still, the fact that it's on their radar means we could be seeing this update in the future. And that's all the Forsaken news and leaks we've got for today. Let me know what you think about these updates in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Forsaken content.